Hello everyone, Trevor here, aka Archangel Yu-Gi-Oh, and today I want to go over my top 8 OTS Championship generator deck profile. I think it was 67 people, it was 7 rounds of Swiss. I played against quite a variety of decks, a lot of Runic there, but I feel like I did pretty well, and especially with a deck that I didn't really expect to do well with. So it is just a bit exciting, and I really just kind of want to show it off to everyone who might be wanting to play the deck. I think it's really cool. Shoutouts to Matt Games for helping me come up with some of the lines, helping show me the deck and the potential in it. Shoutouts to people who let me borrow cards, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So starting off with generator monsters, we have 3. Lofter, probably this is just the best normal summon, so you can quick effect tribute it during the main phase to summon a level 9 generator from deck. Boosts all your generated monsters by 1,000 attack and defense during your opponent's turn. It's just a really, really good card. 3 Vala. This is the new monster from Photon Hypernova. So this one, it says that you can, if it's in your hand or grave, you can pitch a generator card to summon it, and then on summon, it's going to summon a generator monster from hand or grave. Just insane card, allows you to go for rank 9s a lot easier, and the new rank 9 especially, is really, really good. So definite 3 of. And we're just playing one of each of the other names, just the ones worth playing. 1 Mardell, 1 Har, 1 Nidhogg, 1 Hela, and 1 Ugarda. Just real quick going over, Mardell on summon searches a generator card, or I guess a plant monster. No, not really playing any plants. So Har is an Omni Negate, and when your opponent adds a card from their main deck to their hand, you can make them send a monster from their hand or field to the grave of their choice. That effect comes up a lot. It is really nice just being able to drive down the resources. Nidhogg is kind of like a Solemn Warning, so if your opponent would special summon a monster, you can negate the summon and destroy it. Hela is just kind of another kind of monster reborn. It's helpful for like clearing like your side of the field with tokens before you reborn, because Vala doesn't clear anything. Clear any tokens, any space for stuff. And Ugarda is just kind of like a Dynamiscus, like you tribute 2 to target a card in the field, banish it. You just want the removal, it's good. Then on to the 4th, 5th, and 6th normal summon. We are playing 3 copies of Diviner, so this can send things like Vala, just stuff like that. It's a really versatile card. It's a fairy. It being a tuner comes up a lot in this deck, just for random synchro shenanigans, stuff like that. And then the thing that you want to ideally send off it is this. This card is insane. If you can, so basically what this card does is during the main phase quick effect, you can tribute up to 3 fairy monsters, and you summon it. And if you tribute 1, it just summons itself. If you tribute 2, you get to destroy a card your opponent controls. Non-targeting, doesn't, like, so you activate this effect, it resolves, you pop a card. If you tribute 3, you get to draw 2 cards, and as well as pop and summon it. It's insane. And then we are also playing a card to summon off Diviner if you tribute it with Hierarchia. We're playing 1 copy of DD Sprite. This is what you summon off of Diviner when you tribute it with Hierarchia, because originally we were playing a lot of non-engine. We slimmed down on just a little bit, but like sometimes you would open hands where it's just like Diviner and 4 hand traps. So this allows Diviner to be a 1-card Barone, because we figured that if you like go Barone with like some follow-up, or I guess with like 4 hand traps, then if you use the Barone negate in standby phase, you can bring back the Diviner to send like engine pieces and stuff like that, so you can actually start getting into your engine. DD Sprite's just the best level 1 fairy tuner, just because it can summon itself from the hand. This guy got normal summoned a lot today, a surprising amount. Then on to non-engine. It's 3 Ash, 3 Nib, and 3 Kurakara. I don't know how much I like this card. It came up a bit. It's theoretically there for like cash. My only loss was to cash in top 8. I just couldn't see the outs. He played around Nib. I didn't see Nib at all, but he did play around it. So I'm considering cutting Kurakara for Chalice, just because it doesn't like need them to do anything, and does just turn off the play around Nib board, so it is pretty good. Onto the spells. It's just 3 boss stage. It's the best card in the deck. My round 4, I was playing against Branded, and I won game 1. In game 2, he goes first, and he sets up like the gimmick puppet line. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I've got this monster. I activate boss stage and I pass. I end up setting up like Har on his turn for the Omni Negate for the Branded Fusion. It comes back to me. I top deck Diviner, normal summon it, synchro with the Gimmick Puppet, and that actually ended up winning me the game. So definite gotta play this card. It's way too good. Terraforming, just a fourth copy of it. 3 Pot of Prosperity. This deck doesn't need the extra deck, like Banishing 6, you're not gonna like lose sleep over it, you'll be fine. Sometimes you banish 12, not that often, but it can come up. Like just the second Prosperity, just you were able to do that without much consequence. 3 World Legacy Monstrosity. I'm not too sure how I feel about this card. Like theoretically, it's really good. Because you can go for like an extra rank 9 for like Enter Blast and you can rip their hand, stuff like that. I feel like it gets sided out a lot, and that's probably not a good idea. But I just feel like it's the lowest impact card going second into a board state. But yeah, I need to experiment with this card a bit more, but I like it at 3 in the main for now. Onto the traps, just 3 more hand traps, 3 imperm. And then last is 2 copies of Metaverse. This was originally the generator boss fight, I believe it is. Yeah, it's the one that activates the field spell from deck and makes your opponent draw a card. I ended up cutting it for Metaverse because I feel like you're never really searching the boss fight. It was just kind of like 5 copies, 5, 6 of field spell. And if your opponent, why would you let your opponent draw a card? And especially if they start with Prosperity, stuff like that, then it's just dead for the turn. If your opponent's not adding cards from their deck to their hand, you're not going to die that turn, is like the theory behind Metaverse. So I ended up just playing Metaverse instead. You just chain it to if they ever activate a card that would add a card from their deck to their hand. You just chain it, and then you get the field spell. You get all the pluses, stuff like that. Onto the extra deck. We're playing 2 copies of the new Exi Levitin. This card's insane. It is literally a custom card. This thing says so you can tribute it to summon this guy from your extra deck, and attach cards from either field or graveyard to this guy, up to the materials this guy had. So if you usually summon it with 2, you tribute it, summon this guy, attach 2 cards from your opponent's field or grave. It's insane, because it doesn't target, it's not removal. A lot of people read this card, read it again, I used it against them, they were like, wait, what happened? And then they read it a third time, and they were like, oh, wow, that card's insane. And then you play 2 Jormungandr, just because you need this for this. It's kind of like Dragon Maid. It's like you kind of need a bad one to summon off the good one, even though this one is still insane. Like this one, there's a quick effect. Both players draw a card and attach one from their hand or field to it. Attach a card from their hand or field to it. So it's always getting bigger. There's a OTK line with this where if you summon this, enter battle. So you need this in like boss stage. You summon this, enter battle, attack them. Effect summon Jormungandr. You go Jormungandr effect, both players draw and attach, it's up to 3k, and you trigger boss stage to summon Vala from deck. And Vala will summon back the 9 you detached from this guy, or the biggest 9 is usually all 3k or bigger. Anything over 25. You bring that back. You attack with this for 3k and the other guy for game. Because boss stage does summon defense. But yeah, that's just a line you can do for a game. More generic Exi is 2 Zeus because Cash is a cringe deck. And like sometimes that one just does come up. 1 Enter Blast Near. This is for if you open World Legacy Monstrosity going first. This is for if you open it going second. Infantry Earth Slicer. These are both insane cards. They can both come up different times. Like this isn't just for hand rep turn 1. You can use this as really good removal, stuff like that. So is this. We're playing some diviner targets in the extra deck too. We're playing 1 Entis because like just why not? It's just a turn diviner because it can turn diviner into 6, which comes up a lot with like Lopter. You can make synchro 10s. And then you do need to play a level 7 fairy. So I chose to play Violent Delta. There's like a wind fairy that came out, I think it was in, like Battle of Chaos. That should be this, but 1 that's a common, and 2 I didn't want to dig through bulk for it. The only reason is because it's wind and it doesn't lose to things like Bystials, which not a lot of people are on, so it wasn't a huge deal. But if you want to optimize the list, this should definitely be that. I don't even remember what it's called. But yeah, also I like violent cards. Next we play 1 Baron and 1 Chengying. Originally it was 2 Baron, but I do really like Chengying, being able to go second and make this. It comes up a lot, just random ways. Like, I was playing against a Dinosaur and he gave me a token, so I ended up normalling Diviner, sending Delta, and then synchroing into this, which was pretty nice, because it made Diviner a 9. With the token, that's 10. 1 Psychic End, because like if your Diviner gets stopped and you'd have an 8 and a 9, you can make Psychic End. It's theoretically hard for some decks to out. And you know, the 2 mandatory Linger Rebo. I didn't see any Pash, but I didn't see any Ibly either. So yeah, those never really came up. And side deck, it's kind of boring except for 1 card. We'll get to in the end. So it's 3 Evenly, 2 D Barrier, just because I don't like branded. 1 Feather Duster and 2 Cosmic. I wanted a back removal card I could get with Thrust. I didn't play any back row decks, so 2 Bell. I do really need to work on setting patterns, but 2 Bell it's just kind of one of those it felt right type cards. So no, I don't own 3 Secrets. I only own 2, so I guess I just played 2. 3 Thrust gets things like Evenly, gets things like Terraforming, Metaverse, stuff like that. 1 Talents. If I ever open this card, I also open this card. It's wild. And then for the spicy tech that you bring in against like branded and stuff, we're playing 1 Consecrated Light. So like the thing is, because normally you'd go for like the DD Sprite line if you have Diviner plus like a way to get to like Field Spell. But if you're playing against branded, instead of summoning DD Sprite, you just summon Consecrated Light off the Diviner, and like theoretically it should just like win the branded matchup on its own. I think there's like a couple outs. Things like Cartesia, but you're usually going to be able to remove that from the board anyway. So, I only played against 1 branded, and I won game 1 and 2, so I didn't need to set this in. I thought about bringing it in against like a Runic Sprite, but then I realized that the Runic card's just kind of solo. So, yeah, I didn't come out much today, but I definitely wouldn't cut it. This card's way too good not to play. But yeah, that's it for the deck. Let me know your thoughts down below. I mean, probably one of the big things I'd change is these, like, they're theoretically really good, but I'd probably cut them for skill drains in the side, just because all your stuff tributes itself, so it's not really affected too hard by skill drain. And then I'd probably cut Kurikara for Chalice. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, and I will catch you next time.